Sometimes the moves you don't make turn out to be the best moves possible. Last year was a perfect example as disaster was averted for the Eagles. And speaking of moves, Yannick Nagogue is just begging the Eagles to come get him.
Dallas still stinks.
Yo, by the way, Dingbat here, and hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well, be hanging in there. So sometimes it's the moves you don't make or fall through that turn out to be the biggest moves you possibly could make. And that totally happened to the Eagles as they avoided huge disaster by their own hand last year. And Yannick Nagogue, the guy is begging. He's just begging for the Eagles to go out and get him. I think the Eagles should oblige him and go out and do it. And hopefully this thing doesn't start shaking soon with my big fat chins in the back of my head. But before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled, pause, Eagles content creator in all of the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while, I just want to thank you so much for all the support you give to me. And make sure if you haven't, make sure you still subscribe, the bells, all that stuff. I've had a couple people DM me and ask me why I unsubscribed them. I have no ability to do that. So just double check, double moonwalk check. Make sure everything is good to go. Now, this is kind of an interesting day. We're getting interesting stories out of here. I have a lot to say on both of them, okay? Eagles, they are having OTAs. I thought today was going to be another public OTA. I guess it wasn't. So we've got one more public or media day where the media will be able to watch the Eagles. Today, I guess, was not one of them. I thought it was, but it isn't. But the Eagles, they're back. You know, they got OTAs next week as well, so we'll see. We do have an Eagles announcement. The Eagles will hold joint practices with the Colts ahead of Week 3's preseason game, Pound Fly, Eagles Fly. That means Steichen is going to spend a week with the Eagles, you know, and his Colts. You know, okay, it should be interesting, I guess. You know, preseason, the thing with preseason, right? Let me just say this. Under Nick Sirianni and the way the Eagles have basically done preseason is they don't play their starters in the game. They don't play the starters in the game. They give them a lot of work during the week, especially on these joint practices, and they really view that as playing. And so we're probably not going to see the starters the whole preseason. I don't even think you'll see, like, I don't think you'll see Jalen Carter. You might see a little bit of Jalen Carter, but you're not going to see much of these guys. You're not going to see much of a lot of the second stringers as well. It's going to be one of those preseasons, so buckle up. But I can't blame the Eagles. I can't say that they've done anything wrong when it's worked out, that they've been pretty healthy. So it is what it is, and they looked sharp from the get-go, so hey, it is what it is. Now, we think of this Eagles team, and I think of this Eagles team as entering the golden era of football. And, you know, we have done so much within a year that it's hard to imagine. If you just think about the moves that have been made since, we'll say, the draft last year, it's been absolutely phenomenal. But all of that could have been never existed. It could have been a figment of our imagination. Right now, we could have been the most miserable fan base, even more miserable than the stinking Cowboy fans, because the Eagles tried to get Russell Wilson. Now, there's reports today that the Eagles were trying to trade for Russell Wilson, and some reports are saying that they actually had a trade worked out for him, but Russell Wilson nixed that trade. Here's Eagles Nation posted this. The Pound Eagles reportedly had a deal basically done to acquire Russell Wilson from the Pound Seahawks before last season. However, Wilson nixed the deal. Per Greg Bishop of Sports Illustrated. So, if you traded, if the Eagles would have done this deal, if this deal would have gone through and Russell Wilson would have come to Philadelphia, There is no Jalen Carter. There is no A.J. Brown. There's maybe no Nolan Smith. There is so many guys that would not be on this team because you would have had to give up multiple first-round picks to get Russell Wilson. And it turned out Russell Wilson looks shocked. He looks like he's done, right? He wanted to go to Denver and only Denver. And, you know, he don't look like himself. Meanwhile, Jalen Hurts has developed into, I think he looks better than a young Russell Wilson at this point. So, this is a major dodgeball that the Eagles missed. They dodged a major bullet. All right, if they would have gotten Russell Wilson, we would have been stuck. We would have been stuck, and I probably would have holes all over my walls, and we would be calling to blow this thing up and start over and rebuild, because you would have been stuck with an aging quarterback who's definitely lost a step, and you would not have the talent that Jalen Hurts has around him. Instead, Russell Wilson nixed the trade, and guess what? Jalen Hurts got the opportunity to play. We got the opportunity to put weapons around him, and turns out Jalen Hurts developed. And listen, I don't blame. Let me say this. I can't blame Howie Roseman for trying to make that move. They did not believe. Well, I don't want to say they didn't believe in Jalen Hurts. They didn't know what they had. I mean, if you go back to last year, right? Because it's very funny to me. You see a lot of people always, they go back to old videos and then they say things, like you have the knowledge of the future, and it's very easy to do that. But at the time last offseason, the Eagles, all reports were that they weren't sure if Jalen Hurts was a future franchise quarterback. This is why they got the extra first-round pick from the New Orleans Saints, in case they needed to make a move for a quarterback. And because Russell Wilson nixed that trade, the Eagles had to give Jalen Hurts another year. And they were smart and put weapons around him, and he developed. And now he's one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. It would have been a major disaster, okay? Jalen Hurts, he might have gone somewhere else. Maybe he would be great. Maybe he wouldn't. It may not have worked out. It just worked out. Sometimes you have to get a little lucky. Think of this. I think of Tom Brady, and I wonder sometimes, if you go back to Tom Brady early days, and you go back to that AFC Championship game, right, or where the Raiders and the whole tuck rule, what if they called the proper play a fumble, and Brady loses, doesn't win that championship, doesn't win that first Super Bowl? Does Tom Brady become what Tom Brady became or not? You never know at certain points if it just changes a whole dynamic of how things are going to be. I think of this as the same way. Jalen Hurts, if the Eagles would have traded for Russell Wilson, they never would have known what they had in Jalen Hurts, and they never would have been able to put the offense around Russell Wilson that they have around Jalen Hurts. So the Eagles lucked out. And I can't, like I said, I can't blame Howie. They weren't sure. I wasn't sure going in. Last year, the narrative going into the season for Jalen Hurts was this. He had a good year. He deserves another year. But we don't know what he is. We don't know. There's some people believed in him. That's great. Shout out to them. They were right. But a lot of us, including myself, I didn't know. I didn't know what to expect. And I just wanted to see him play. And I thought he deserved the opportunity to play more. Turned out he was that guy. And so now the Eagles are in a great situation. This is a bigger mistake Russell Wilson made for himself than anything. And thank God this thing didn't work out. Just thank God, okay? Now, something else I want to talk about, something that I would like to see work out, is Yannick Nagogue. I've been talking about Yannick Nagogue for a while. Before DeAndre Hopkins got cut and was a free agent, Yannick Nagogue was my number one target as, going out and getting another free agent. Yannick Nagogue, for years, has talked about wanting to play with Philly. He used to post pictures of Reggie White, and he wanted to be an Eagle. He is a free agent. The guy is good. The guy had 9.5 sacks last year. He's, 27 years old? 28? It's time that the Eagles go out and sign this guy. You know what I mean? I think this is a guy that the Eagles probably could get at a decent price and could be there for next 4 or 5 years. You do have aging players like Brandon Graham. So I think this would be a great guy to bring in. And he's looking for a team that is a contender. He is looking for a team that would keep him around a while. He's a little sick of hopping around, right? MLF Football put this up. Free agent Pro Bowl standout, our edge rusher, Yannick Nagogue, said that money isn't what he's thinking about as much as finding a team with a stable home where he can grow and would also like to play for a contender. He said, quote, I definitely want to play for a contender, play for a team and an organization that wants to win a Super Bowl, Nagogue said on Sirius XM NFL Radio at Pro Football Talk. That's one of the things on my agenda to be able to help and contribute to that. Hopefully, I can get some great interest from a contender. I don't know what better place than the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles would be that stable place. They're going to be contenders for the next years, many years to come. And you do have a guy like Brandon Graham, who is older, and I think can give you another 2 years. But why not get a Yannick Nagogue in and rotate? And I'll tell you what, I said this. He was my #1 target, and then DeAndre Hopkins got released, and he was my #1 target. Man, it's like neck and neck. I would love to see Yannick Nagogue here. I think he would be a great addition to the Philadelphia Eagles for a long time to come. I mean, he's, like I said, 27, 28 years old. The kid has a lot left. He just needs to go out and play. So I'm hoping that the Eagles really will look at him. I'm hoping that they hear that and that they give the kid a call, because I think he would be a great addition to this team. And you can never have too many pass rushers. You can never have too many that you like to rotate in. And I think that the Eagles would be smart to sign him. I really do. It sounds like money isn't the #1 priority to him. Stability and a contender. I don't know what more the Eagles can offer him than that. If anybody can offer him that, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. So we'll see if that leads to maybe him signing with the Eagles someday or not. And we'll see what contender he ends up with. But he's a guy I like. I've always liked Yannick Nagogue back when he was with Jacksonville. And I think he would be a great addition. So we'll see. With that said, I'll let you guys go. Let me know what you think about both of these things in the comment section. We'll be back tomorrow. Take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision. We're all just living in it. I just wanted to give this quick little announcement. We will be having Shakedown podcast on Saturday, and then we're probably going to do it like I'm guessing like Tuesday or Wednesday. It could be early in the week. And then I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be out of town for like 10 days. I'm going to be out in the Outer Banks of North Carolina chilling. So I'll have videos in there, stuff like that. But just want to let you guys know, Shakedown will be this Saturday, and then it's going to be early next week. And then I think we're going to go on break for a while with it. I got to talk to Joey about the exact dates of our little break before we get ready for training camp and all those kind of things. My channel, though, will consistently have videos out pretty much every single day, even when I'm on vacation. There may be a few days where I don't do something or I jump on, do something real quick. But, yeah, look for that. Should be a lot of fun. Denzel Washington out.